Having the desired body under voluntary control is the goal and job of humanity. Now, we have talked about the physical body, we have talked about the vital body. The next body which every human being has, we call the desire body. The desire body. The physical and the vital body, they are older than the desire body. The desire body, what does it do? It is responsible for our desires, our wishes, our emotions, our feelings as human beings. Is an activity that is carried out by our desire body. Every human being has a desire body. The desires are the incentives for action. Without the desire, you will be inept. You will not have that incentive for action. And the ethers, they give the energy. The ethers of the vital body, they give the energy for the action to be performed. And the physical body carries out the action physically on this earth planet. So that is how they are linked. The desire body is actually the incentive provider. There are forces in there, forces of attraction, something that attracts you to do something. Forces of repulsion, something that puts you off, you don't want to do anything. And forces of indifference, where it's like, I don't careism, you don't care, you are simply indifferent to a situation or to an object. Now, these forces of passion and sensuality, they occupy the lower aspect of that desire body. And forces of good, noble ideas, noble feelings, attitude of helpfulness, they occupy the higher aspect. And if you want to look at the feelings, the emotions, the desires at the bottom rank of the desire body, if you're a Christian, you may not even be a Christian, you can open to Galatians 5, 19 to 21. Galatians 5, 19 to 21. That gives a description of the desires, of the actions that occupy the lower rank. But generally, things like jealousy, greed, stealing, deception, cheating, drunkenness, sensuality, magic, suicide, racism, tribalism, inhumane actions, all these things occupy the lower rank. So if you delve in things like that, the awareness should be that you are dwelling on the lower aspect of the vital body. The same thing goes in terms for the higher ones. What are some of the desires, the actions, and the rest that occupy the higher aspect of the desire body? Unconditional love. You love somebody because it is good to love somebody, not to love because you desire the person, body, or because you want something in reciprocity. No, not things like that. Altruism. Altruism is another aspect, a higher aspect of the desire body. You are caring and you are sharing with others. You are helping people. You have compassion and you speak the truth. Nothing but the truth. Nothing but the truth is a higher form of the desire body. You don't discriminate. You are honest. You are truthful. You mean what to say. Those are the things that occupy the higher aspect of the desire body. You forgive people. And you are humble. You have self-control. And you are thinking of spiritual things. Those are the aspects that dwell in the higher aspect of the desire body. Now, the desire body extends a little further than the vital body. The vital body, we said earlier on, extends about 1.5 inches beyond the surface of the body. The desire body extends between 12 inches and 16 inches. But for holy people, it extends even beyond a mile for holy people. But for ordinary people, 12, 16 inches, that is how the desire body surrounds the body. This body does not have organs. It doesn't have glands. But it has centers of perception. It has centers of perception. And indeed, we use it when we sleep. We don't use the physical body when we sleep. We use the desire body when we sleep. And through its centers of perception, more or less, we dream, and some remember their dreams. Now, the desire body is around every human being. Every human being has it. Every human being has the desire body, and it illuminates the whole body. It spins in certain direction depending on how you use your desire body. Basically, there are three directions in which the desire body spins: clockwise direction, anti-clockwise direction, and ordinary direction. Let's put it that way, ordinary direction. We'll explain what we mean by that. We can have the desire body under voluntary control or involuntary control. We'll explain that as well. Now, the goal of humanity, the job of every human being, is to have the desire body under voluntary control, not involuntary or ordinary. No, but to have it under voluntary control. I will explain. Now, if you look at this picture, it talks about the clockwise direction, where we have it under voluntary control. There are 7 centers of perception in the desire body. And if you have it in the voluntary control, you will see it as it is depicted in this picture. If you have it as an ordinary person, it can be here today, it can be there another time. There is no defined direction for it. You also have it in this direction. And then if you are in anti or anti-clockwise direction, this is the way you have it. We are now going to look at all these 3 directions, and see what are the similarities and dissimilarities. Now, let us see all the 3 directions put together. The first one to the left is a voluntary one. The middle one is for the ordinary person. And the one to the right is for the involuntary person. Now, you will see clearly that if you look at the direction of the flow, that of the person who has it under control, the voluntary person, his direction is clockwise direction. The movement is in clockwise direction. That of the ordinary person who is in the middle shows there as clockwise, but there is a difference. If you look at the one who has it under voluntary control as against the ordinary person, you find that there are gaps in the flow, in the vibration, in the illumination of that of the ordinary person as against the voluntary person. Also, if you look at the direction of the face, you can see that that of the voluntary person is to the right, but that of the ordinary person is to the left. Also, if you see the posture, they sound similar, but not necessarily that. That of the voluntary person is firm. The posture is firm, as against that of the ordinary person. Now, if you compare these two to the one to the right, the picture to the right, which is the involuntary, you will find that there is a vast difference. The movement of the involuntary is anti-clockwise, as against the clockwise direction of the voluntary one. Similarly, the posture of the involuntary is a bit relaxed, a lazy posture, as against the firm posture of the voluntary one. Now, if you look at the intensity of the flow of the vibration of the desire body, the centers of perception, that of the voluntary is well organized as compared to that of the involuntary. As I mentioned earlier on, having the desire body under voluntary control is the goal and job of humanity. So, if that is the situation, then it is clear that every human being has a job to do to operate at the higher level of the desired body. Once you operate at the higher level of the desired body, automatically the vibration of the desired body will be in the clockwise direction. Now, let us take note that the desired body we are talking about, which extends roughly 12 to 16 inches beyond the body, the physical body, there are no organs, but only centers of perception. We use it, as I said, when we sleep. But what is interesting is that when a person dies, that body assumes the shape of the dead person. And by the 14th year, every human being gives birth to it. So the physical body is given birth to immediately we are born. The vital body is given birth to by the 7th year. And the desired body is born by the 14th year. So having talked about the physical body, the vital body, the desired body, we are going to the fourth body. As said earlier on, every human being has 4 material bodies and 3 spiritual aspects. So we are looking at the fourth body. Normally, people call it the mind, the mental body.